Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Autocar Professional Dialogue. Today we have with us Mr. Kishore Ramisetty, the VP of Intel Foundry Services. Kishore, thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you for having me here.
We've known, India is a country which is not really known well for the state of road safety in India, And Intel now being a technology player, you're entering this space and, you're bringing in technology to improve road safety and reduce accidents on the roads. So if you can just elaborate more about it, what sort of technology, you're bringing from Mobileye now to the market.
See, one of the key things is, maybe I'll take you back a little bit and then kind of tell you the reason why we started this journey. This happened in about 5 years ago, in September of 2017. We had an event here in New Delhi called Champions of Change. The event was conducted by Niti Aayog, and Intel and a whole bunch of companies were part of that event. And it was a conclave or a conference. And I would say Intel and a bunch of us were waxing eloquently about artificial intelligence and machine learning and what this technology can do to industry in general. And our Honorable Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi ji, asked a very simple question. He asked, okay, what's the benefit of this technology called artificial intelligence to a common man? That actually, when I heard that question, that actually stopped me in my tracks. Because until then, AI has been used for recommendation engines in terms of, okay, you watched these X movies in the last month, so what's the next new movie that you're going to watch? Or search engine optimization, so that's what AI was used for. It wasn't used for healthcare or road safety, kind of these population scale challenges, and actually making a difference to the life of a common man. So at that point of time, we had a point of light that our Prime Minister ji has shown us. And we followed up, not just Intel, a bunch of us came together and we followed up on road safety, and we said, what can we do to avoid this pandemic of road safety in India? You know the numbers about it. And once we started researching it, we also found a way to address the problem. And we've actually developed this technology called Intel Onboard Fleet Services over 5 years. We took 2 years for product development, 3 years for road testing. And this product led to, and this product kind of led to some of the amazing results that we are seeing on the ground today. And at the end of the day, the technology has to be applied to a problem at hand. And that's the problem is road safety that we have applied and that we are seeing it. And each of these technologies, whether artificial intelligence or machine learning, is all towards really improving the lives of people. And that's what we're brought here, and that's what this conference is also about, what we call Safety Pioneers Conference.
Right. So who is the end consumer? Who is the technology targeted towards?
So the technology is targeted towards, we first analyzed all the users of a potential technology like this. If you see India has the most number of accidents on our highways. Roughly, highways constitute 5% of Indian roads, but about 60 to 65% of accidents happen on highways. So now if you want to reduce accidents and save lives, where do you go? You first go highways. Now, what are the vehicles that are running on the highways? Mostly commercial vehicles. So that's why we chose that as our first entry point into this segment. So the technology has been developed, the product has been developed for commercial vehicles and adopted by commercial vehicles, so that we have the biggest impact. Also, it's not just a social cause. There has to be an economic benefit for the transport operators. Only then a technology can be adopted and can be scaled. And the economic benefit for transport operators is twofold. One, they boost their profitability, because the downtime that an accident causes is humongous. So we reduce accidents, we reduce downtime. That's one. So you boost your profitability. Second one is creating safer drivers. Because our technology has the ability to develop an individualized, personalized coaching plan for drivers, the drivers became more proactive drivers. I would say disciplined drivers. Or passive driving, when the driving habits being not aggressive. And these are the two twin benefits that our customers have, and that's why they are adopting it.
So you mentioned about profitability. That leads me to another question, which is about the cost of this technology. So what is the price that an end user, and if I'm a fleet operator, I have a fleet of CVs. So what does it cost me?
So I will answer that question in terms of the cost benefit analysis. Mr. Ram Ratan, CEO of Shure Group, one of our first customers, he has used the technology. So he gave a simple statistic. He has about 125 vehicles. Each accident costs him 5 lakh rupees. Each accident. And if there is a death associated, it's even more humongous. When compared to that, that statistic, the cost of the device is, in his terms, peanuts. That's what it is. So we have various different plans that are associated. There is an upfront cost that a customer will have to pay for buying the device. And then there is a monthly subscription plan that we have where they can subscribe to various different plans. There are plans which are only for devices looking outward, which is what we call ADAS devices or driver assist devices. There is a subscription plan for driver monitoring as well. So there are multiple tiers of it. You can start with as low as 2,000 rupees per month, and it can go up depending on what sorts of plan you want. But really what you have to look at is a cost benefit analysis.
Right.
If one accident is setting you by 5 lakh rupees, what is couple of thousands of rupees per month?
True.
So that's where it comes in.
True. So does it also include an entire analysis of this data that the particular device is storing into the cloud?
Yeah.
And does the fleet operator also get benefit of that data analysis?
So there are two components to this solution, and I think that's the real key customization that we have done for our market. The first aspect of it is the devices. These are the devices that go into the truck, and these give what I call real-time alerts to the driver, so that the driver can have this advanced warning that an impending collision is going to happen and take an evasive action. That's the most key part of the solution. The second part of the solution is there is a cloud portal that we have that is analyzing this data silently, and over a period of time learning about how a particular driver is driving his vehicle. Is he driving rashly at a particular time of the day? Is he feeling drowsy at a particular time of the day? Is he ignoring a pedestrian warning? Or is he, for example, going over potholes? Because I also know whether harsh braking is done and how he is kind of maneuvering into a lane. So all this data is analyzed about a driver, and this analyzed data will finally give me actionable insights. So that's what I talked about, a personalized, individualized coaching plan for each driver, and that plan is provided to the transport operator, and the transport operator will use this plan and kind of improve his drivers. So we have some transport operators who talk about Hero of the Month award. Okay. So he kind of give a hero award to the driver. Because at the end of the day, this whole technology is for making the driver the hero of this entire story.
Right.
If he becomes the hero of the story, then we will not have these accidents and we will not have these loss of lives on our roads.
Right. So from the feedback from drivers, so like you mentioned, making them the heroes. So this is sort of incentivizing the driver, right?
Incentivizing the driver.
So is there also a case wherein there has been a feedback wherein drivers are not really open to adapting to this kind of technology?
So I think any new technology, when it first starts up, will have some resistance. It is up to us as technology providers to kind of coach the drivers and tell them that this technology is for them, for their benefit. Because if they want to go back safe to their family, they better listen to these alerts. And also the alerts have to be really customized. It cannot be spurious alerts, because if there are too many alerts, human brain tunes out.
Right.
So you need to really give alerts at the right time and only when it is really needed. However, even though the drivers understand the benefit of it, there is no human being on earth, in my opinion, who thinks he's a bad driver. Everybody thinks he's a good driver. So there will be resistance. What we have seen in our experience in the last 3 years, the resistance quickly fades away. I can tell you my own personal example. I started using this technology about 5.5 years ago. For the first 6 months, I was like, yeah, this technology is decent enough. But on one rainy night, there's a flyover in Bangalore called Kadugudi flyover. I almost crashed into a car in front of me, but the alarm at the right time saved me. Then I was a convert.
Right.
So I think, God forbid, it was not an accident at that point of time, but I was a convert. So I think what really needs to happen with any technology is it is word of mouth. Whether your own experience or someone else's experience will kind of convert you.
Right.
And there will always be that curve. There will be like innovators, early adopters, and there will be laggards, and that's common in any technology adoption. What we see is because there is significant benefit to the transport operators, the adoption curve is much faster in this case. And once the adoption curve is faster, then it can exponentially grow. So
Right.
there will be resistance in the beginning, but I think the resistance can be overcome by education and training.
So, this is a very technology intensive solution. So in that sense, even though the technology comes from Mobileye, so India is very strong in its software power, So what sort of development cycle did you go through in terms of bringing this product to the market?
Yeah, so I think you hit upon the right attribute of it. So there is a hardware part of this solution, and there is a software part of this solution. The software part of the solution is what I talked about. You analyzing the driver behavior, coming up with actionable insights. Those are all the aspects of the solution that is developed in India. So we have a dedicated research and development team situated in Bangalore, and that team kind of utilizes Mobileye device and also some other partner devices for driver monitoring and vehicle health. And the actionable insights are generated out of the data out of all of these 3 or 4 devices, partner devices. And that whole development happened in India because we are a software powerhouse, like you said. And more importantly, not just the development, but the testing of it, road testing of it also happened here in India. And that entire development happened here in India, in Bangalore, designed and developed for India.
So even this device is sort of localized, you're making it in India and
Absolutely, okay. Absolutely. Because without that, I think the device will be half as useful. Take example of a picture. So let's say you take a photograph of a road in US or Germany. What do you see in that? Maybe you would see X number of cars and neatly paved roads and traffic lights and all of that stuff. Imagine taking the same picture here in India. What do you see? I mean, you would probably see hundreds of people, auto rickshaws, bicycles, cars, trucks, all of that stuff, right? So for your technology to work in this environment, you have to change the algorithms.
Right.
You have to identify a pedestrian on a sidewalk and seeing that, oh, okay, that pedestrian is not going to jump on the road now. Right. He's going to go straight ahead. That kind of identification can only be done if you work on the data in the country in which you're going to deploy the product. And that's the work that we have done.
So these are the challenges that you've encountered, in the testing and development of this product, especially for India.
Correct.
So do you think going forward, if we talk about ADAS per se, so do you think there is a definite roadmap for ADAS to be implemented in Indian vehicles?
Oh, absolutely, I would think. So if you think our government has been very progressive in adopting safety technologies. We started with airbags quite a while ago, and now 6 airbags is coming in, like Mr. Nitin Gadkari talked about in the conference today. And ADAS technologies will come in because these are the technologies that actually reduce accidents and save lives. And the roadmap, there are various different driver assist technologies, and based on those adoption of those technologies, you can even have star rating of the vehicles. How safe is the car that you are driving? In addition to how much mileage you get, you can also ask this question. Once the consumer starts asking this question, how safe is the car that I'm driving? Once the government is also supportive, once the technology is ready, which it is already, then the adoption will be really fast. And I think the next 5-10 years will be the ADAS era of Indian automobile industry.
And not just for commercial vehicles, but does Intel also plan to venture into the passenger car segment as well?
So Intel and Mobileye today have 2 businesses, and ADAS is available in both these businesses. The first business is what we call OEM business, where we have these ADAS technologies that are provided to OEMs, both software and hardware version of it, and these OEMs take those technologies and implement it in new cars. As an example, XUV 700 has Intel's technology, Mobileye's Intel's technology in there. So all the ADAS features is developed by Intel, Mobileye and some partners together with Mahindra. And so we already have solutions for passenger vehicles. What we have come up for commercial vehicles is solving the problem now, which is I have so many commercial vehicles already, millions of commercial vehicles running on them on the Indian roads. So instead of waiting for new commercial vehicles adopting ADAS technologies, we've also developed this Intel Onboard Fleet Services so that can be adopted by commercial vehicle operators today, and we can make an impact today. So that's why I think it's important. So there's two businesses, and both businesses are targeted for needs of the automobile industry.
Right. As a fleet operator, my final question, so where can I find this solution? I mean, is it available online, or do I need to go to an accessory shop? How do I get this fitted into my commercial vehicle?
So it is very simple. I mean, there is a website that is available. They can just click the link and then approach our business development and sales team. Our team will kind of come over, educate you about the solution, understand the fleet characteristics, because long haul trucking is different from employee transportation, and last mile connectivity is different. And our product has customizable solutions for each of these. So we'll work with customers, we'll kind of tell them what the product is, and we will have a path for them to adopt the technology. We have a specific program for each customer. So when we first give the solution to them, we actually give the solution and run a pilot program with the customer by installing the solution but turning off the alerts.
Right.
So the customer knows how his fleet is operating before he actually adopted this solution. And most customers have even data going back by years, but we also do this control period. And after that, we kind of turn on the alerts, and then we'll show him the delta of what it was before adopting this technology, what it was after adopting this technology, and then we'll kind of take it forward from that. Right. So it's a B2B right now. We have a network of distributors here in India. They can just approach us, and then we can come and then work with any fleet operator in the country. So I strongly believe together with fleet operators, we can absolutely change the landscape of accidents and saving lives here in India.
Right. Is there also some sort of a growth or volumes target that you have set for this year, 2022?
I think more important than the volume targets are targets that we have set ourselves in line with Nitin Gadkariji and government are talking about. Business is one part, but really even saving one life is a lot more meaningful. So the targets are, for example, in a program like iRaste that we are doing with Nagpur Municipal Corporation and bunch of customers, we're really looking at 50% accident reduction in 2-3 years time frame. So those are the targets that we are really going after.
Right.
The business volumes, business targets will kind of follow, but really if I can play a small role in realizing the vision of 50% accident reduction and 50% death reduction by 2025, I would consider myself and everybody in this industry super successful.
Right. On that note, thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Pleasure meeting you.